Hello, YouTubers. Joe Kersey here on Sunday, uh, August 31st, 2014 at 13:10 in the afternoon Eastern Daylight Time. Now, I've been a bit of a bad boy today. It's Sunday and I didn't go to church. This is maybe like the third time ever since I started going regularly to church that I elected not to attend. The other times I've been sick or out of town, or there was some mechanical failure with the truck or something like that. That hadn't happened very often. That's about 8 or 9 times over the, 19 years. But today was the fifth Sunday of the month. And, when we have a month with 5 Sundays, we do a thing called Youth Sunday. Well, sometimes that goes well, and sometimes that doesn't go well. Even if it goes well, it's a bit of an annoyance because we have to listen to these little songs they sing with guitar accompaniment and that sort of stuff. And the ones that can read will read the lectionary selections. Of course, they all feel that they have to, they view this as a speed contest. I guess they think the faster they read this, the better they are as a reader. Well, that isn't the case. We have one guy that's actually pretty good, but he's 16 and his parents obviously make him rehearse before he does it. And he's been reading quite some time. He's been reading since he's 13. He doesn't do a bad job, but he still goes just a hair fast. Just a hair fast. So I just didn't want to put up with that today. Plus, I have blown that thing off one other time. Plus, this morning it was raining. By raining, I mean movie set, delugeal, can't see much past halfway down the driveway rain. And it wasn't just a brief period of it. It was like this for about 2.5 hours. And this actually started, it started around 8, a little after 8 o'clock this morning. And I was going to have to leave at 8:50, and I thought, well, we'll see. And it just kept on. That's it. I'm not going to try to fight my way up there and back in this. And if you look at the radar, it was clear it was going to keep going on for a while. And indeed, the old adage, rain before 7, quit before 11, was true because I live on the 83rd degree of longitude, west longitude, 83 degrees, which means that I'm 45 minutes actually earlier than standard Eastern time. Well, standard Eastern time right now would be 12:10, not 1:10. And so the real, sun time would be somewhere along the line of, 11:25. So this rain stopped here a while back around what would be 10:50 sun time, real time, actual geographical time. So that adage held true today. Well, it was raining daggone hard up until then, so, well, shame on me maybe, huh? So I ran across one other issue is that I had to get up. I got up at 1:30 this morning to tend the dehumidifier, which had the same problem as yesterday, which I then actually fixed properly last night in the morning, about 2 o'clock this morning. So that's been properly fixed under direct vision. But then, of course, I couldn't get back to sleep. So I ran across a thing today from a fellow over in England, and he was talking about this one of these tags, and he called it. I guess it's called the Diary of a YouTuber tag. And actually, the set of questions was, I thought, pretty reasonable set of questions. Some standard things. How long have you been on YouTube? Well, I think I actually set up my YouTube account when I started looking at YouTube videos, November 25th of 2012, and I made my first actual video December 1st of 2012. When do you stop doing YouTube? I don't know. When they carry me out of here feet first, maybe. Certainly when it stops being fun. But, if it keeps being fun. I guess there was a guy in his 90s that he just cacked off here, and he'd been doing YouTube for about 6 or 7 years. So, best thing about doing YouTube. Well, it's a hobby. It's fun. It leaves a visual record of yourself for your family if they care to have that. It sort of assuages one's intrinsic narcissism and arrogance, for what it's worth. I don't know. Maybe people who listen to it either get a kick out of it or take something away from it. One can only hope. It's really not meant to be offensive. Worst thing about making videos? Well, nothing really, except that I really am unable to edit these things properly. And I've got a couple of, I've got the Mavericks manual that explains QuickTime and iMovie and that sort of thing. And quite honestly, short of somebody sitting me down and walking me through this several times, I'm just not going to be able to do that. I mean, I've read through it. I've given it a shot. I mean, I can splice clips together. That's what I can do. That's the limit of my. I have been able to cut some stuff off the end and the front a couple times, but that's about it for me. So the editing thing would be the worst thing, if I really try to do it properly. And I won't be able to do it properly until I get trained. How many thumbnails do you take? Well, I generally wait for the YouTube people to select a thumbnail for me, although occasionally I've not liked it, and so I've gone back and taken a screenshot either from the video I put up or from perhaps another previous thumbnail, or maybe just a photograph I have, if it's appropriate. But essentially, I don't take any thumbnails, deliberately, unless I feel that I need to look for something else. YouTuber crush, give me a break. Even if I had one, I'm not going to say it. Collaborative wish list. Well, I've been fortunate enough to already collaborate with Dan Fry down in Australia. On a movie, Gay and Gray, that came out here in May or early June. And I was very delighted to be asked to do that. I had been commenting on his videos, and we got emailing back and forth, and he looked at some of my stuff with Paul, and so that worked out really well. If anybody wants to collaborate with me, I would be delighted to try to do so. I'm open to any and all ideas on that. Probably have to be from afar because, you know, I mean, but that was easy enough to do. I just put the stuff on a flash drive and sent it down there. You know, it's a bit of an expensive plane trip for it, but I sent it down there. Then, you know, then you have one of these foolish ones. What are you wearing on your lower half? Well, gym shorts, today, as it turns out. How long until you hit record? Well, I don't know. I mean, I made a little list. I mean, sometimes I make a little list. Sometimes I just talk off the top of my head. Of course, there's always, you got to check your hair. All YouTubers have to check their hair. I've got to get my standard prop, a beverage. Turn on my overhead lights. There. And then after that, then I hit record. YouTube community thoughts. Well, actually, I would say for the most part, it's a very civil group of people. You know, they interact with each other fairly courteously in the comments and well, courteously and humorously and earnestly, and you get the occasional well, hostile individual that leaves remarks from time to time. There's this one fellow that I won't mention his name, but you see him nailing gay guys from time to time with various remarks. You know, okay, you know, enjoy yourself. But in general, it's a fairly good civil community. Sorry about that interruption. This is some guy calling on a cell phone, and he won't talk to my answering machine, and he's been bugging me pretty much every day for about the last 5 days. You know, if you got something to say, just talk to the answering machine. You know, and if I like the cut of your jib, I'll pick up. And then the last one was the secret to a successful channel. Well, I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, I've been successful as, you know, I mean, sure I'd like to get more people who subscribe to me and watch me, of course, who wouldn't? But I've had 47 people that have indicated that they have watched me enough that they might want to hear some more from me and look at some more from me, and they've taken time out of their lives to do that, and I'm very appreciative of that. So I think I've already been successful by my own terms. I certainly don't intend to make a living off this from advertising like some of these guys out in Los Angeles do and so forth. Well, there are a couple of big ones over in the United Kingdom that do that, but that's not why I do this. I do it to have fun and maybe some of my thoughts entertain or cause somebody to think about some things. So that's, yeah. So I've greatly enjoyed doing this. So on that note, I think I'm going to have to spend a certain amount of the rest of the afternoon transferring things out of my hard drive because it's getting daggone near full. Alrighty, so bye-bye, YouTubers.